I just got copyrighted. Oh well, welcome back, my friends. The time has come for a very special episode of Min-Maxing for Fun and Profit. The first, in terms of directly what you will see on this channel, Character Spotlight. As you guys know, if you've watched our recent prologue episode or paid attention to the channel at all, we're dipping into some third party for a patron game, going into the wide world of Final Fantasy D20. At first, I was mostly just like, okay, sure, let's do this. It'll be fun. Shake it up a little bit. It'll feel different. It'll play different. Seems good. Actually, it's really good mechanically also. So I'm here today to talk about Josh's patron build request, because it's gnarly and I just want to share it with you. Josh, of course, this, in addition to the messages I've sent you, will serve as the character's primer, if you will, how it's played. And if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me, my friend. Today, we're talking all about this guy right here. Hey man, it's the Lizard Wizard, a Gestalt Black Mage Gambler. Since I know Gestalt is not for everyone, we will break this side and that side of the class down, rather than looking at a specific build, talking about how it works, what it does. And yes, my friends, this is directly applicable to your Pathfinder games, 1-to-1 under the OGL. As always, requests go down there. Be sure to like, subscribe, ding that bell for all your Pathfinder first, second, and now truly third-party needs. Today, this episode of Min-Maxing for Fun and Profit was brought to you in part by the man who's playing this thing, Josh King. Thanks for your support, man. I hope you enjoy. Now, let's hit it. Okay, so before we really talk about the character as the character is built, we have to talk about some new rules in the system. First off, as I'm referencing them as we go in, characters in Final Fantasy D20 have limit breaks. These are special abilities unique to Final Fantasy XX. Most of these are a standard action to activate, and you can only activate them while your health, or the health of your pet automaton, blase, is at 50% or less. At first level, you can do this once, and every 4 levels thereafter, or 2 levels for a prestige class, you get another one. So right off the bat, to optimize an FFD20, it seems to me that armor class is not what you're looking for, because you want to do these really powerful things. Second, and most importantly for exactly 50% of this build, the MP system. That's right, no Vancian casting here. Mages have MP. Of course, the mage gets a set amount of MP in accordance to their class level, but they also gain bonus MP from their associated casting modifier, kind of like how we got bonus spells in Pathfinder, as seen on this table here. The calculation for how much MP you're spending is the spell times 1. So a 9th level spell costs 9 MP, a 1st level spell costs 1 MP, right? Easy peasy. The maximum MP a spellcaster can spend on spells using feats, or, meta magic, is equal to the highest spell they can cast. All metamagic spells in FFD20 are applied spontaneously and don't increase the casting time, but of course increase the MP cost. One thing I'm not seeing as I've built this is a spell book, at least not for the Black Mage, so it's kind of like everyone is a spontaneous caster tracking a set resource. This entirely negates at least for the classes I have seen so far, there are many. Again, FFD20 is one of the most robust systems I've ever seen in my entire career, the need to stop for 2 hours and figure out what spells you'd like to cast. The wizard having to scribble in spellbook and prepare spell slots, gone. You just know what you're doing. Again, at least for the class that I've seen. I at first was worried, Josh, when you told me you wanted to play a Banga who is a blaster caster because, well, your race has an int neg. However, that mostly fails to matter for this build. And here's why. The Black Mage, of course, has its own spell list. The Black Mage can cast a spell called, let's say, Fire at level 1. This upgrades to Fire 2, then 3, 4, up and up and up. The base spell Fire requires a ranged touch attack, and it deals 1d6 points of fire damage, plus casting mod, plus 1 point for caster level, and inflicts the burning status effect for a d4 of rounds with a successful reflex save preventing the status effect, but not having the damage, right? So if you want to be that blaster caster, It's doable here in FFD20. Run that up to a 4th level spell, Fire 4 does 7d6 points of fire damage plus casting mod plus 1 point per caster level, a maximum of 20, inflicting the burning status for longer, which keeps us relevant forever. And we're not just like, Shocking Grasp. No, Shocking Grasp scales. I really thought this would be all about like, here's a great and fine build for you. But to tell you the truth, from what I've seen so far, truly, everything in FFD20 is just powerful enough almost in class. This is part of the reason why, though the other part was new meta who dis, our FFD20 game, Heralds of Dawn, will feature only Paizo's core rulebook stuff, at least as far as feats are concerned, unless like a specific class calls a thing out. The Black Mage, of course, gets increased power with their spells, that being Black Magery. So the thing about Black Magery is that there's a little, with a maximum of 2 per clause on choosing from that list. Right now we've chosen increased damage twice, so all of your spells are doing +2 dice of damage. Seems real good to me. Extra d6s, right? Everyone loves it. You know what everyone doesn't love, though? Precise Shot. The Black Mage doesn't have to take it, though we did for the other half of our build, while casting spells or using magical items that require ranged touch, like, our whole arsenal. Not only is the class really good, the class is evading taxes that keep us down in early levels. What do you want? Black Mages also have a big list of mage talents, not unlike rage powers, rogue talents, etc., and can shield themselves and allies within 30 feet from elemental damage, gaining a number of resistance as indicated on a table. Eventually, they're rolling with advantage on concentration checks. Eventually, they're adding meta magic for free, kind of like the kineticist. Truly, the Black Mage kind of feels like a kineticist without burn. Regaining MP faster, casting 2 spells as a standard action. Oh good, we're a Mystic Theurge and we didn't have to fight for it. Reducing spell resistance, reducing MP costs to 1. Basically, the idea here is point, click, boom. But that's not the exciting part of the build, because the Black Mage kind of does basically what you'd want your Blaster Caster to do, right? Sure. The other half is the Gambler. So the Gambler's got a d8 hit die, has a bunch of roguey-esque class skills, gets 4+ int in skills per level. The Black Mage has a d6, getting 2+ int skills. Black Mage has got a good will save, Gambler's got a good reflex save. Making a Gestalt class out of this means that our Gestalt character has a d8 hit dice, 4+ int skills, a lot of skills as class skills, a good will save, a good reflex save, a bad fort save. Josh told me he wanted to remake a Banga from Final Fantasy XII. Knew he wanted the Blaster. The other half I felt was pretty well offset by the Gambler class, at least in terms of flavor. Then I realized this class was nuts. Imagine, if you will, the Alchemist, the Witch, the Rogue, all kind of jammed together into one thing. It's terrifying. The terrifyingest. The Gambler gets a luck pool equal to level plus charisma plus a Banga's favored class. The Banga is spending luck points to re-roll any single roll as an immediate action. I'm so used to that saying D20 roll. You can in fact just re-roll any single roll. Blech. So yeah, there's built-in fortune effects from jump. The Gambler also begins play with a deck of steel playing cards, thrown weapons that deal a d4 of slashing or piercing damage. Not that important for this build, but important mechanically later. The Gambler can toss Gil around. The Gambler gambits are talenty things, can fortune and misfortune and buff our damage. The Vanilla Gambler, we're not the Vanilla Gambler though, can use charisma in place of strength. As far as hitting things goes, gets evasion and uncanny dodge and luck bonuses to AC, eventually adding charisma to saves for rounds per level, applying double damage by basically gambling, choosing if the die result comes out even or odd. It's dumb. But wait, it gets dumber. Like I said, this third-party supplement, and truly, I really hope someone GMs this for me because I want to be a player in this, because it's sweet, is full of a lot of archetypes and is constantly getting new updates. Our Gambler will take an archetype called Card Shark. Why, you ask? At first level, the Card Shark imbues his throwing cards with kinetic energy, and so they explode when they hit a solid object, like an alchemist's bomb. Whenever the card shark throws a card and hits, the card explodes and deals a d6 of non-elemental damage in a 5-foot radius. Adjacent creatures to the target can make a reflex save to take half. At 4th level and every 3 after, it goes up by an additional d6. This guy can take away dex. This guy gets quick draw as a bonus feat, adding dex to damage right out, though we're using Elephant in the Room, so that's not super important for us. But what's double sweet? Yeah, I know, right? It's so good I had to use that turn of phrase, is the card trick ability. At 5th level, the card shark's proficiency in throwing cards has made him unnaturally lucky and precise. His card throwing attacks score a critical hit on a roll of 19 or 20. Additionally, whenever a creature rolls a 1 on a save against the kinetic card ability, it deals maximum damage. Now, I know we're dealing non-elemental damage, but kinetic cards is a supernatural ability. The cards aren't blowing people up. The people are blowing people up. In this case, it's the lizard wizard blowing people up. And so, that means we're throwing a slashing weapon that happens to blow up because of some magic stuff we did, so we can enchant the cards and make them keen. Yeah, that's a lot of d6 going at the table. Though I guess technically we're treating the cards as if they're ammunition and enchanting like a deck box, I guess. Whatever, you get the idea. At level 10, the card shark's throwing attacks crit on 18 to 20. But wait, it gets better. In addition to a lot of effects like ill fortune, by spending a luck point as a swift action, the gambler imparts a streak of bad luck on the target. Any actions the target takes in the next round have a 50% failure chance with a will save to negate, or bad draw to put disadvantage on everyone. We're also looking real hard at double down and all in. Double down says, after the gambler makes a confirmed critical hit, the gambler can spend a luck point as a swift action. So the gambler does need to watch its action economy a little, but you'll be fine. To make another confirmation roll to increase the critical multiplier by 2. These little explodey card things have now turned into keen scimitar scythes that we're shooting at people. Yeah, it's real good. Of course, if you fail, the crit is no longer confirmed. A lot of the theme of the gambler is there is a chance for your class to go bad, but using a swift action on your turn, pop a point from the pool as an immediate action, using your next turn's swift action to try again. If you're only down to 1 luck point as a swift action with all in, the gambler risks damage to themselves to cause maximum damage, so we will roll a d2 on roll 20, but before the attack roll is made, flip a coin basically. If it is called correctly and then the attack hits, the attack deals maximum damage. Yeah. Boom. If you miss, you provoke an attack of opportunity from any creature that might be threatening you, and you take max damage from the next attack made by the thing you just attacked, if that attack is made within 1 round. I don't know about you guys, but that seems pretty easy to mitigate. Just, get up out the way. Now let's look a little closer at this character sheet, shall we? So far as our items go, it's really just the big 6. Follow this card right up here if you don't know what that means to get this guy going. Because again, basically everything you ever needed is in-house. This class is good. Final Fantasy D20 classes are good without needing feats to function. I can dig it. That said, the standard point-blank shot, rapid shot, deadly aim, precise shot will be taken by your character Josh going up to level 7. Though, of course, we don't really need point-blank shot. Elephant in the Room rules are sweet. I do feel that throwing a kinetic card means you will often be within point-blank shot range, so the feat is actually good for once. Reasonably speaking, you could probably put 2-weapon fighting on a gambler and start flicking a lot of cards all over the place. Because we aren't a full Bab Gestalt combo, I worry with deadly aim and rapid shot, we might start missing somewhere. As far as our mage talents go, I feel like blasting will basically be our secondary choice of action, or if we know something is vulnerable to an element or has a really low touch and we just can't hit with the cards. So our mage talents right now are silent magic, concentrate, and empowered magic. Silent magic and empowered magic allowing you to cast 1 spell without increasing the MP cost per day as if it had those meta magic feats. Concentrate letting you reroll any concentration check with a +4. So, in case rolling with advantage fails you, here's 1 more, further backed by your luck from being a gambler. It's dumb. It's real dumb. Now, as far as advancing this character past level 7, I think that's when the meta magic feats start to hit, of course. You've got your standard elemental spell, if you don't feel like going and buying a bunch of scrolls to get Ice 1, Thunder 1 instead of Fire 1, Maximize spell for obvious reasons, Quicken spell, so that way we can then throw a card after they explode horribly. It's lovely. It's wonderful. Really, at this point, it's just meta magic feats flavored to taste based on how you want to play this one, Josh. Though I definitely like the idea of swift action, quickened, bam, and then full attacking with cards for smaller, bam, bam. As far as the rest of these gambler gambits go, and again, a lot of them are just real good, I would definitely think about Lucky Strike. After grabbing Fortune Strike, as a swift action, you can increase your damage with your weapon. If you hit, roll 2d6. If the rolls are double sixes, it's max damage, in addition to the 12 you just rolled. If you roll Snake Eyes, you accidentally stab yourself for normal damage plus 2. But then get Lucky Strike to, as a swift action, add half your gambler level as a luck bonus on all attack rolls made until the start of your next turn. Okay, so this is also kind of like the War Priest, as you're just passing luck bonuses out to yourself. Stacking the odds looks real mean too. As a swift action, you spend either 1 luck point for an extra move action, 2 luck points for an extra standard action, or 3 luck points for an extra full round action once per turn. You can only do that once a turn, which is great. So that's full attack with cards, and then go again for another full attack action using your swift. See what I mean? Terrifying. Everything else is kind of up to flavor, I feel like. But I think you get the idea, and you guys at home can watch this build play out on Final Fantasy Heralds of Dawn. We're rolling out all the prologues right now. We should be starting, within the next few weeks, the actual boots on the ground campaign. But that is all I have to say. What do you guys think? I'll tell you what I think. What I think is Final Fantasy D20 is a very well-crafted, put-together, and frankly just good third-party supplement that, again, it's OGL. It fits right into your Pathfinder games, and I'm really excited to see it pan out. Would you allow this in your game? How do you feel about Gambit in the Final Fantasy or even Pathfinder world? Seem good? Yeah, I think it's real good. Be sure to like and subscribe and ding the bell, guys. The next episode of Min-Maxing for Fun and Profit takes us to another patron request. We're looking at that big, giant, scary anime-style combat splat book by Dreamscarred Press we all know and love and fear as Path of War. See you then.